The Croaks are no hoax.
Welcome to the Mind Your Movies podcast. You're going to find out what that means later on this episode. I'm Shane.
And I'm Ryan. And today we're talking about some of our top five underseen horror movies for the Halloween season.
Exactly. We figured this episode's actually coming out the day before Halloween, so happy Halloween Eve if you're watching or listening exactly when it comes out. But yeah, so for our qualifications for something being underseen, we're doing movies, well, horror movies obviously, with under 50,000 views on Letterboxd. So we figured that's a good metric to say to show if the general public has seen the movie watching public, the movie freak general audience. So yeah, that's the idea. We're each have five picks. We don't know what each other's picks are. I assume we're not going to have much overlap here. Uh, Ryan, do you want to kick it off?
Oh, I do.
Okay. This is definitely up your wheelhouse. This is Ryan's the horror guy. You're the horror fanatic. So, but I think I got some good picks. So
Nice. Hell yeah. I'm excited to hear what you got. I got to start with our quote, of course, which is the Croaks are no hoax. This is the iconic Frogman from 2023, directed by Anthony Cousins, and big news. Frogman 2 is now on Letterboxd. It is not
oh,
out yet, but you
coming
can
soon.
you can add it to your watch list. It's called Frogman Returns, and I believe that it's a finished now, and I think it either is going to be or has just been premiered at Knoxville Horror Film Fest, according to Anthony Cousins' review on Letterboxd. So,
Nice.
so either it's just happened or will be happening soon. I'm not exactly sure, but it's now on Letterboxd. So the sequel's coming out soon. It's a perfect time to get a little cozy and watch a found footage movie about the legend of the Loveland, Ohio Frogman. And this movie, let me tell you, is absolutely bonkers. It that you could never predict what happens in this movie, and I would die on that hill.
Nice. I could predict that a guy turns into a frogman.
I don't even know. I can't
Oh, we're
honestly can't even tell you.
very
It's
ambiguous, very art house. Okay.
very well.
Very avant-garde.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna feel like a
I'm I'm here for it. I have not seen Frogman. I've Ryan has raved about this movie for so long. I do want to see it, but I kind of feel like it would be better watching
yeah.
together or with a group of people or something like that.
This is
Uh,
probably true.
so I haven't been uh so I haven't been paying you know,
Yeah,
I haven't seen it. I think it's only on Tubi, right? Is that where you can watch it?
not indoctrinated yet, you could say. And I
Yeah.
believe it's according to my letterbox right now, it says it's streaming on Fandango at home for free. So what was
Oh, okay.
formerly Voodoo, you can stream it on there with ads, or you can rent it or whatever. Also, physical media, Terror Vision has a really nice Blu-ray of it that comes with a bunch of cool special features, including all of Anthony Cousins' shorts that have come out so far, which are all really fun. So highly recommend. And this movie only has 16,000 views on Letterboxd.
Wow.
That
Very
is that is insultingly low. We got to
criminal.
get more people on this movie. It's
Well, I'm part of the
so
problem.
crazy. Yeah,
It
you
could be
are.
it could be 16,001. I
um,
will watch Frogman eventually, especially in anticipation of Frogman Returns. I'll have to check it
that's
out.
that's right. Also, the movie is under 90 minutes. I like it is
Are all your movies under 90 minutes? You don't have to check
they
now. You can
might be.
check
I think they are.
probably. That's
They're
predictable.
either under or just at 90, which I mean,
Nice.
hey, you know what? It's you know what? You're gonna get cozy on Halloween. You're gonna have just listened to our podcast. You're gonna want to put something on, but you're like, I don't want to put on like, a 2 hour The Exorcist or something, or whatever. So you're gonna slap on Frogman
Exorcist kind
on
of slaps though.
the Exorcist does slap. I endorse that, but you're gonna slap on Frogman. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna spend 80-ish minutes watching
Well,
this
with
masterpiece.
ads, it becomes 100 minutes.
Well, rent it.
You could, yeah, it's true. You could rent it. It's a fair point. Fair point. All right, Frogman coming in hot. Great pick.
One more quote from Frogman, real quick. Frogman fucks.
All right, now I'm in. I was I was like, is the croak are the croaks a hoax? I'm not sure, but now okay, I'm in. I'm in on Frogman. And also, as a guy who just watched Chainsaw Man, I'm in on uh
Um,
noun man. There's Batman, there's Superman, there's Spider-Man. So many noun mans.
Noun man.
Noun mans. All right.
All right, Shay, what do you got for your pick here?
Well, I will say, oh, look at this guy. Every movie's under 90 minutes. So impressive. Well, how about a movie that's only 1 minute long? To tell you what, it's actually 51 seconds, I believe, exactly. This is my number five pick. It's called Premonitions Following an Evil Deed. This is a short film directed by David Lynch. It's actually just one shot. It's one continuous take, although it appears to be like three or four takes, just the way that they did it. Um, and yeah, it's this. I mean, I really can't describe much of it because it's less than a minute long. But this was made in 1995 as part of like a short film project for the 100th anniversary of cinema, since the Lumiere brothers like basically created cinema in 1895. So yeah, this is one of many short films in that project. And yeah, it's David Lynch. It's creepy, it's mysterious, it's awesome. You can watch if you want to watch it like five times, guess what? It only takes you 5 minutes. And then you can watch it five times and try to figure out how they did it and what's going on and your interpretation of it. But yeah, very, very surreal and just an awesome, awesome short film. And on Letterboxd here, it has 38,000 logs, which is actually quite a decent amount for a short film, probably because it's so short. It's very easy to watch. But yeah, it's streaming on the Criterion channel. And yeah, so if you haven't seen it, it's as far as like bang for your buck, time investment to quality of film, this might be the greatest of all time. It has the, like,
Yeah.
oh, you want to watch Seven Samurai? Guess what? It's 3.5 hours. This one's, you know, like 200 times less than that.
Yeah. And this isn't it shot on like the
Yes,
uh
it's like they basically recreated the conditions and technology from 100 years prior from like original stuff, and it's incredible to see like with that context to see the creativity and how how people could use that technology 100 years later.
that's so cool. Yeah. That's awesome. This is actually funny because I still haven't seen this. So it's 50 something seconds.
And
It's gonna
on it.
happen. It's gonna happen this week. So
Honestly, while I'm talking about my number four, you could go and watch it and then come back and tell me what you thought about it.
yeah, don't mind me being muted here for a minute here. Literally a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah. No. Maybe after the
Yeah,
recording.
yeah.
You can sit down and give it your full undivided attention. It's pretty cool.
That would be psycho to be watching a movie while recording a podcast. I mean, unless it's like for, well, whatever. But
Would be
yeah,
kind of crazy. All right. Well, that's basically my number five. I mean, I can't talk about
nice.
much about the plot, so
Nice. Well, I've got my next pick is is a pretty awesome movie that I only just watched. Um it's Torso from 1973. This is a giallo movie by Sergio Martino, and it's maybe it might be my favorite giallo I've watched. It is a year before Black Christmas, Texas Chainsaw, still many years before we get Halloween, and it's like the formula for a slasher movie. And I did not expect that in, yeah, I mean, a lot of Giallo is very, it inspires a lot of slasher stuff. And this one, I was very surprised by um, how well it does at making that formula for other things to follow. And it's very impressive. It's pretty as with many uh giallo movies, it's very like kind of stylistic and kind of vibrant, and the kills are all awesome. If people are
Nice.
into the genre, I think this is awesome. And I think even if you're like not really into giallo, but you do like slashers, I think this is just a really awesome watch. A lot of giallo is dubbed in English, and this one you can find both versions. So if you're not big into watching things in other languages, I suppose this is still accessible for you, which is cool. But also the Italian sounds pretty great, so just do whatever
Nice.
works for you. But it's pretty awesome. It even it I don't even know how to say too much about it without like spoiling a lot, because it really like sets into place that formula that you come to expect with slasher movies. So a lot of giallo is can be kind of more like murder mystery or like cop procedurally and stuff, right? Like
Mhm.
clearly not true slashers, right? And this
Yeah.
almost feels like a true slasher. So it really does actually. It's not even almost. It does feel like a true slasher. Um, yeah, probably my
Nice.
favorite giallo, and I would strongly recommend. And I'm amazed that it only has 29,000 views on Letterboxd. I think
Mm.
giallo has been a genre that I don't think gets enough love on the platform, and it's one that I think I've brought up a few times in our kind of underseen or underrated topics, and this might be maybe the pinnacle of that.
Wow, yeah, Giallo. I've only seen not that I haven't seen that many Giallo movies. So far, I haven't like connected with any of them a ton. Um, but yeah, this does seem cool. I will say Giallo often has very long titles, and you might think, "Oh, Torso, that's weird. Like that's such a short title." But the Italian title is I corpi presentano tracce di violenza carnale.
Yeah, which is
So,
something like the corpse with a trace of carnal violence or something, which is similar to something they say in the movie. That's really the only reason I know that. But
gotcha. There you go. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah,
That tracks to me. But yeah, also 93 minutes. So there you go. It
yep.
they could have trimmed a couple minutes off, but
Actually, the 93-minute cut is the longer version. There is like a slightly shorter version when it got
mm,
like its international version. So I don't know if this is if you watch the English version, I'm not sure exactly the length is the
right.
thing.
So the
Um,
English might be shorter, but they might have cut
yeah,
out some of the gorier stuff and all that.
yeah. I would
Yeah.
recommend. I mean, I watched the Italian version. That's the one I really enjoyed. So I'd probably just recommend that. But also, again, I think one good thing about Giallo is that you can kind of like with modern like anime, you can sort of watch the dub and they're made that way. Like these are made. A lot of Giallo films were dubbed by the director,
Yeah.
or
And they,
overseen by the director.
yeah, a lot of the times they wouldn't even record sound on set, and they'd have international actors. There'd be one guy speaking English, one guy speaking German, another lady speaking Italian, all in the same scene. So that's
Yeah,
why a lot of giallo and basically a lot of Italian movies from this era are like that. But yeah, this is cool. I've heard of this one, but I've not seen it. So I'm glad you liked it so much.
lots of fun. Would recommend.
Nice.
Am
Well,
recommending literally right now.
exactly. My number four. You might say 1 minute. That's way too short for me. Can I interest you in a 12-minute short film? That's right. I have two short films in my top five because I felt like this had to be in here. It is categorized as horror. It's categorized as horror, comedy, and fantasy in on Letterboxd, and it's called Corey's. Coreys, like the name Corey, but there's two of them. And this is a short film directed by Dan Straight and starring Connor O'Malley, the comedian. And he plays the titular Corey, and he sort of is a typical Connor O'Malley character, this weird guy who's like super online and strange. And well, it gets weird, it gets trippy. There are two Corys. There's a version of there's this almost alpha male Vegas guy version, like this hell world version of Corey. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's it counts as horror. It's categorized as horror. It's also pretty funny. It's also I think pretty genius. And uh I believe it's accessible on YouTube. So you can watch it anywhere and you can watch it on YouTube, I mean. Uh and yeah, it's pretty awesome. I would highly recommend it.
Nice. That's pretty awesome. I like having some short films on here for us to recommend because I mean, again, in 13 minutes now you can watch all of Shane's picks so far.
Exactly.
That's pretty
This
awesome.
and Corey's, I will say, 22,000 views on Letterboxd or whatever logs on Letterboxd. And yeah, it has a pretty high rating, 3.9 average rating. So it is very well received, but I think by a particular audience, I think a lot of people might just not be familiar with it. Uh, so I think it's definitely worth checking out, and it's funny and fucked up and cool.
Nice. Also, that's one of the funny things I think about uh movies in this range where you're looking at just like 50K ish um views is you either have like dumpster fire stuff, I think, or you have like some really like the people that have watched it have really liked it, so it seems like it's really highly rated. Um, uh, because that's just kind of I guess just how it works, right? Like if the crowd of people that have found it have enjoyed it, then there is that little niche. And then if that's not really the case, then like it's probably not that well reviewed. Otherwise, maybe more people would have seen it.
Yeah, it's almost like with
Funny.
Yorgos Lanthimos's movies. Like as these gotten more popular and more in the mainstream, I feel like there are more people that are like, "What the hell is this? Like, I don't get this." But when he was first coming up, it's all people that are seeking out that kind of weird shit. So then they're like, "This guy, this is awesome. I'm a freak, just like this weird Greek man who's directing these strange films." So, but yes, as the audience widens, there's more people who are not necessarily gonna vibe with it.
Yeah, right.
But I think this
Um,
one, people will vibe with this. If you
yeah,
like Tim Robinson, you'll like Corey's.
interesting. Okay, cool. I'm in. I mean, hey, 12 minutes. That's not bad.
Exactly.
Did you watch it like on
Eh,
YouTube? Is it
Yep.
accessible that way? Cool.
Yep. It's on YouTube, and there you go. And that is my last short film on the list.
All right.
I have other options, but I wanted those to be
Yeah,
my
yeah.
choices.
Hey, who cares? That's cool. I think short films are nice to recommend. Um, okay, my next recommendation is we're going back to found footage. We're going back to found footage, guys. You knew it was happening. Come on. Who do you
That
think I am? But we're time traveling 10 years before Blair Witch Project. This is 1989 for a film called The McPherson Tape, or also known as UFO Abduction. So this is 63 minutes, and it centers around a guy with a camcorder trying to record I think it's a birthday party, or yeah, a family gathering centered around the birthday of a kid. And well, it's called UFO abduction, so I guess it's not really that much of a spoiler to say that they think they capture footage of aliens and stuff starts to go crazy. And there is, I will say, this is 10 years before Blair Witch, notoriously a shaky camera movie, right? 10 years later. This movie did not reinvent that. This movie is pretty shaky. So if you're one that does not really like the shaky cam, I can understand that. But I do think this movie, if you can put up with that stuff, like if you liked, like we watched Wreck together, and that one wasn't so bad, except for the running up the stairs thing. But if you can put up with something like that,
that one was not bad.
yeah. But if you
And
can
this
put,
is like the first, one of the very first found footage movies.
yeah, it is. And so it's like, I think it's just really interesting to watch if you like found footage, even if you don't like the shaky cam stuff. It is just so early and influential in the genre that it's pretty fun in that regard. It's also streamable. You can watch it for free somewhere, I'm sure. Um, and it's only got 14,000 views on Letterboxd. Um,
Hmm.
that's so few considering it's so foundational. You know, people always think that like Blair Witch is like the first, right? Um, And I think it's always nice to explore the more niche things if you like the genre, right? So if you like found footage, um, then I would suggest narrowing in, looking at some of the things that came before Blair Witch, right? Ghost Watch, UFO abduction, or the McPherson tape. There's some really great stuff out there, and I think this is one that's pretty underrepresented in even the found footage circles.
Nice. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. Another one I have not seen. So far, no crossover on movies we've seen. I do know you've seen at least one of, I think maybe one of my movies later on. But
Nice.
all right. On to my number three. This is a this is a Toby Hooper's follow-up to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's called Eaten Alive from 1976. It is about a crazy man in a sort of motel hotel. It gets like a rural hotel, and there he has a pet alligator, maybe crocodile. I think it's an alligator. No, it says crocodile in the letterbox description, so I guess it's a crocodile. And yeah, it's called Eaten Alive, so I think you know where it's going to go from there. And this is a pretty cool movie. It's not as good as Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's a really high bar, but as a follow-up, that's really like underseen. It's 23,000 views on Letterboxd. It has a lot of cool like use of stylized lighting and some cool camera angles, and clearly it's like a low budget 70s horror movie, but if you're looking for something that's a little bit like it has some of the griminess of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but a little bit more fun and a little less depraved, perhaps. Although it's still a horror movie and stuff, so but it's a little campier, a little more heightened and stuff like that. Uh, so yeah, this is a pretty cool movie that I think has gone under the radar a little bit in Toby Hooper's catalog.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. And for any Hooptober followers, isn't Toby Hooper always a genre there?
That's why it's called Hooptober.
There you go. You
It's
always
the
have to have.
titular Hooptober
Whoa, wait a second.
for Toby Hooper.
I totally knew that before just now,
There,
obviously.
there you go. Yeah, for anyone listening who doesn't use Letterboxd, Hooptober is a big challenge that people do in October, and there's there's a list with all these categories, and you make a list and watch a bunch of horror movies in October. It's pretty cool. It's a cool community challenge thing
Yeah.
that goes on. And yeah, it's named after Toby Hooper, and that's why you always have to watch a Toby Hooper movie.
It's so perfect to like branch out a little, not just rewatch Texas Chainsaw, watch Eaten Alive this year.
Yeah. I
Although I
think there
guess,
might
yeah,
be an alternative title, although I'm not sure exactly what it is. I probably should have looked it up before I mentioned it and started talking. But either way, I don't see it anywhere, so who
that's all right.
knows?
Hey, Eaten Alive sounds like a pretty good title to me. So,
It is a good title, right? Eaten Alive. It's like, all right, you know what you're getting in for.
yeah. Um, nice. Well, I I'll jump in with my next movie here.
All right.
Did you find
According to
it?
Wikipedia, known under various alternate titles, including Death Trap, Horror Hotel, and Starlight Slaughter.
Wow.
But it seems like Eaten Alive is the actual title. But
Probably
yeah,
the best of
I
those, I think. Yeah.
yeah, I think Death Trap is the one I was thinking of, but I guess it
Hmm.
was known under different titles, maybe in different countries or different. I really don't know why. But
Yeah, it's
anyway,
interesting. That happens sometimes, like with the Giallo movies. Obviously, they have a lot of different
yeah,
titles, but and even like the translations, there's usually a couple. But yeah, it's like with alien abduction too. It's like if you search or UFO abduction, then it comes up on Letterboxd. But I've always heard of it as the McPherson tape, but it does have
yeah.
the alternative title sometimes.
It's
So
funny because on Letterboxd it says it's called UFO abduction, but the poster says the McPherson tape. So
yeah, weird. Sometimes that happens, I guess. Um, well, my next movie, speaking of posters, has a sick poster to it. Um, this movie is called Butcher, Baker, Nightmare Maker, which is
I've
also a
heard of
sick
it.
title. 96 minutes. So I'm over the 90-minute mark twice here. So
Oh,
take that.
brutal.
my average so far is much higher than yours, Shane.
Yeah, my last two are a little longer, so but that's all right. Yeah, I guess the 1 minute really helps me out there.
This is 1981. This is like a slasher that centers around like a an adopted or a kid that's like living with, I think it's an aunt or something. Um, and yeah, I think it's an aunt. And people around him start dying, and uh naturally he's the prime suspect. And I can't really say too much more. It's got some twists and turns and some bloody kills and a banger of an opening. um it's it feels very kind of um ahead of its time in terms of like um in terms of some form of like representation, maybe. Or maybe you could just read into that in terms of uh kind of being a queer film. And it's pretty fucked up and pretty weird. So if you're looking for a cool like queer slasher movie that you haven't seen before, this could be on that list, considering it only has 25,000 views on Letterboxd. It is on Shutter, so if you have Shutter, perfect time to be breaking out that subscription, and take a watch at this. I mean, I think this is a fun one. It's got some campiness to it, but overall, it's a blast.
Nice. And it looks like Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker, and the McPherson tape are both available to stream on Hoopla, which is a streaming service you can get with your uh, public library card. Uh, so go to your public library, get a card, and you can use like Hoopla and Canopy for free, and you can watch a bunch of free movies. It's actually pretty awesome. Uh,
Hell
and
yeah.
and our next week's movies, Climax and Enter the Void, are both streaming on Canopy. So if you are interested in those movies, get out there, find a public library. Also, if you're in school, if you're in college, then likely your college is also like
Connected.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, check out Canopy and Hoopla. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So now we're on to my number two.
Yeah.
This is we're moving along. Number two, this is, I believe, the one that you've seen. This is Images, directed by Robert Altman, from 1972. This is sort of a an art house horror type of a thing. A lot of paranoia, doppelgangers, seeing visions, what's real, what's not. Kind of a cool, surreal thing. Susanna York plays Catherine, and they're living, well, they're on holiday in Ireland, and she begins having these hallucinations and paranoia, and it goes from there. But it's a really cool kind of experimental, surreal film. Uh, Definitely inspired by like Repulsion, and I feel like that was kind of a common the like woman in a house madness type of a thing was is a common theme, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's directed by Robert Altman. It's really the only horror type movie he ever made. I mean, he made this so right in between McCabe and Mrs. Miller and The Long Goodbye. So it's sort of those three movies are kind of his takes on different genres, Western, horror, and noir. So pretty cool, his interpretation of a horror film. And it's also shot by Vilmos Zsigmond, who's a great cinematographer, also shot The Long Goodbye and McCabe and Mrs. Miller, and a bunch of other great movies. And yeah, it's a beautiful movie. And on Letterboxd, 28,000 views. So it's not one of Robert Altman's most popular movies. And I think it deserves to be talked about a little bit more. And it's definitely worth watching. Definitely a good fall movie too, from what I remember. Like the imagery and the setting, I feel like has a nice,
Yeah.
almost a weirdly cozy vibe to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice
Um,
sweaters, I believe, in the movie.
I can believe that. I have seen this one. It is fantastic. I would also strongly recommend it. It's on my honorable mentions list, so glad that you included it here. And I think this is I was like so close to picking this when we did our Robert Altman episode months ago now, and ended up picking the was it the player? Was that uh
No, we did The Long Goodbye and MASH.
oh MASH. Yeah.
Yeah.
What yeah. Mixing up my episodes here. But
Yeah,
and
you probably just
MASH.
watched The Player. We haven't
Yeah,
covered The Player yet.
that's right. And I watched the player and images, kind of to watch a few more things at the time. And I really liked images. I think it was great. Beautiful, gorgeous movie. Um, yeah, I would strongly recommend it as well. Cozy vibes, like you said. It's a it's a blast,
Yeah.
and totally insane too once you get into it.
Yeah, yeah. Things get a little crazy.
Yeah,
It's a little more of a slow burn, I guess. But yeah, it doesn't get from what I remember, it doesn't get like super gory or anything like that. It's more of a psychological horror.
yeah. I think the
Surreal
yeah,
psychological horror, I
right.
guess.
The surrealism kind of is what really hits, I feel like.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like there's a bunch of times I think towards the end when you start to realize some stuff earlier on, and it starts to kind of pile up, and it's pretty awesome. Good recommendation, Shane.
Thank you. When we're on to our number ones, just like that.
That's right. Um, mine here. I've got this is gonna be weird, but I've got a sequel remake thing here. It's The
Okay.
Town That Dreaded Sundown, the 2014. I think a long time ago on the podcast, I had mentioned the original one, and I mentioned kind of both them a little bit, but I mostly talked about the original. And this time, I'm going to talk about the remake. This is a fun kind of meta slasher that, unlike a lot of the slasher remake things that were happening in this is actually a little late for them, but in this era, right, where they're a little more gory and a little more gruesome and dark. And I mean, like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, oh my God, very dark movie. Um, and instead, this takes a different route where it goes very meta, right? I mean, um, there is the original movie exists in this universe, um, and it's like played on the big screen in this town every year during either the anniversary or Halloween. Probably Halloween. That would be crazy to play it on the anniversary of the killings or whatever. But and and but it's centered around the Phantom Strangler, which was, I think it's also like based on kind of a true story. The original one was, not the remake. Um, of a
Well,
Phantom. Yeah, you know.
in the remake, is it that the original is based on a true story that really happened in movie universe?
Well, the original is really based on true events that happened in like the 40s, I think.
Right.
And then I think this one is in the same universe, but a movie was made about it. So the original movie was like a movie that came out about the stuff, I think.
Yeah,
Something like that.
that makes sense. Which would
Yeah.
be our real world technically.
Yeah, right.
So that's what happened, I guess, if it's based on a real thing.
There we go. Right.
Anyway,
So
all this meta shit, you know.
so it is a little insane in that way, but it's also really really pretty fun. The original has a little bit much of like a buddy cop thing. It's 19, I think the original is 1976, so it's like real early slasher. It's got more of like a procedural buddy cop thing going on than a lot of other slashers, and some like oddly uh inappropriate times of comedy. But I would definitely recommend the original too. But this one, you really don't even need to see the original to watch this. It does stand alone. I think it's benefited if you've seen the original, but it's pretty cool. There's some good kills. The references back are pretty awesome. And it yeah, I think it's worth watching. It's got good uh like camera work, cinematography, lighting, all of it feels like it's really well made. Again, kind of unlike some of the other, I think, slasher remakes that were happening at the time. I think it's more in the line of like the Scream 4 remake that was around the time, as opposed to the Friday 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street ones.
Right. Nice. Very cool. I have not seen that one either. I haven't seen either the original or the remake. So there we go.
Well, this one's only got 30,000 views on Letterboxd. So I think, you know, totally worth watching. The original has 34,000. So while I'm not technically putting it on my list, I'm just going to say you could watch both of them and they technically both qualify.
There you go.
So a little hidden one there for you. Also, crazy to me that the original has 34,000 views on Letterboxd and the remake has 30,000. So I think the people that like these probably like both of them, you know? So,
Yeah, it is interesting that more people have seen the original than the remake.
yeah, but not by a whole lot. It's pretty close. So
Yeah. Yeah.
both
All right.
underviewed.
Well, 34,000 for the original. My number one also has 34,000 views on Letterboxd. It's a little movie called Tokyo Gore Police.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, this movie is fucking bonkers. It's completely insane. It's awesome. It's this girl, Ruka, played by Ahi Shina. I don't know. Ehai Shina, maybe. I'm not sure how to say her name. Apologies for probably mispronouncing that. But yeah, she is uh there's a this is a future Tokyo, a dystopian, strange, surreal world. Uh, and there's like a privatized police force, and she's basically trying to get revenge. And there's a ton of insane, over the top action. There's practical effects and insane. There's blood gushing everywhere. It's like complete madness. I mean, it's called Tokyo Gore Police. You kind of get the idea right from there. And a lot of cool stuff happens in this movie. This is 100% something you could watch at a Halloween party, I would say. And also, you could just watch it. You could watch it in any setting, and it would be enjoyable, I think. Yeah, it's from 2008, and yeah, it definitely. I would say there are some dated effects, but I think they add to the charm of the movie. And yeah, it's just a really enjoyable, wacky, insane ride. So yeah, directed by Yoshihiro Nishimura. Yeah, this is a badass, cool movie. And I feel like 34,000 is a little bit underseen. I saw it, I believe, on Tubi, but it looks like it might not be on Tubi anymore. I'm sure it's streaming somewhere. You can find it. But yeah, this one's definitely worth checking out. Tokyo Gore Police, 2008, my number one
Nice.
pick.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. I think these are some pretty awesome picks. I'll tell you that pretty much everything that you listed other than the movie I've already seen are now on my list. So I'm excited to
Nice.
dive into some. Uh Pretty sick.
I might rewatch the Corys right after this. Just pop it on. Yeah, I just watched I've been watching The Chair Company, the new Tim Robinson show on HBO Max. The third episode just came out yesterday when we're recording. Uh and yeah, that has been very enjoyable. Definitely not horror, but very enjoyable.
Nice.
Uh, so yeah, there's a little TV recommendation that has nothing to do with this episode, but it's got me in that mood. That Tim Robinson, Connor O'Malley, I feel like they're similar vibe. Connor O'Malley had that cameo in Friendship, if you remember that. I don't know, but but yeah,
Yeah, is he he's the vet, right? The Afghan vet that's like,
yes,
yeah.
I thought. I thought you meant a veterinarian at first, and I was like, I don't think he's a veterinarian. And then, yeah, he is
Yeah.
the vet war veteran in the garage. That is Connor O'Malley. So yeah,
That movie's awesome.
he's got all sorts of. I mean, I say watch the Corys and then go down a Connor O'Malley rabbit hole. There's plenty of good stuff out there.
Nice. Yeah, and also on the horror front, I think HBO just had the
Oh
Dairy
yeah,
Welcome to Dairy TV show premiere. Um, I was not planning on watching it, but I so far I've heard that people are pretty excited about it. So if anyone out there is planning on watching it or is watching it, let me know how you guys are feeling about it because so far I'm hearing that people are excited, and I think the first one might have just premiered maybe last night or something. So I'm curious to see if it ends up being something I'll watch. Currently, I'm kind of like, do I need 9 hours of it when there's already the original movie and the two
N-
movies
9 hours of what?
Ah!
I had to do it.
Uh,
Never seen it. Never seen the originals. Never seen the new ones, or what? Not the originals. Whatever, the '90s
yeah,
TV show, TV miniseries version.
yeah,
Never read the book. Completely ignorant. Just know Pennywise. Seen him, and
yeah.
I say, hey, that's a creepy clown, I guess.
Well, so this is I think a lot of people are excited for the TV show, from what I understand, because um, Peter Skarsgård is it again, or Pennywise, or whatever. And I think it might be even made by the same people that made the last two movies. So um, it's maybe like I don't know if it's a
Is
continuation or revisiting
hmm,
other times when the it has resurfaced, because I think it's like not the only time. I think in the book, which I haven't read, but I want to, and I now own, although it's a very intimidating book.
yeah,
um, but I think there's like vignettes of other times uh, when it has surfaced, and I think this maybe is following those. I don't really know, so I'm excited to see what
interesting.
ends up coming of this, but it's not really on my radar, other than just so far I'm hearing stuff, and I'm like, okay, maybe.
Gotcha. Nice. All right, cool. Should we give a few honorable mentions before we head out?
Oh yeah.
Do you want to start?
Sure, sure, I'll start. I'll start with one that doesn't quite land in our 50,000 mark, but is really close. So this is at 55,000 views on Letterboxd. So it's just over what would fit. And it's one I recently mentioned on the podcast as a recently watched thing. It's called VIY.
Hmm.
And as I mentioned on the podcast, it's a short Ukrainian movie about a like up and coming priest, or like a clergyman in school or whatever, who has to kind of oversee the last rites of a corpse for 3 nights. And stuff gets progressively weirder each night. I strongly recommend it. It gets bonkers. It's a ton of fun. It's a really cool look into like Ukrainian folk horror. It's from the 60s, so it's got some of that pretty awesome like 60s horror elements to it that you know I think of like the Bloodthirsty trilogy, which is some other really good Underseen stuff that um, this kind of evokes the same type of stuff. So strongly recommend that one as well, even though it doesn't quite fit into our category.
Nice. There you go. I also had two that were right at 50,000, so I didn't include them. But one is The Viewing, directed by Panos Cosmatos. I don't know. I'm not Greek. But yeah, it's his contribution to like the Guillermo del Toro Cabinet of Curiosities on Netflix. It's only like an hour long, and it's a really cool sci-fi horror thing. If I mean, Panos Cosmatos did Mandy and Beyond the Black Rainbow, which are also both really cool movies. And yeah, definitely his style. He has a very unique sort of slow burn, psychedelic sci-fi horror type of an aesthetic that's really cool. And yeah, that is very cool. It was exactly at 50,000, so I decided to leave it off. And I decided to do the same with Brain Damage, the Frank Henenlotter classic, 80s classic. You know, it's Frank Henenlotter, same guy who did Frankenhooker and Basket Case. Yep, Brain Damage. There's a little guy, a little
Elmer, I think.
yeah, Elmer.
Elmer.
Yeah, that's his
Yeah.
name. And he's like a sentient tumor of sorts that sort of takes control of this kid, and he's it's pretty wacky and insane. It has a lot of cool 80s practical effects, and it's definitely worth watching. But it was just on the borderline, so I decided to leave it as an honorable mention as well.
Hell yeah. Nice. Um, I've got two other quick honorable mentions, which
Sure.
is one of which is also just barely over. It's Tom Savini's Night of the Living Dead, which I think a lot of people have heard of and maybe seen, although it only has 60,000 views on Letterboxd, which is pretty low considering it's made by Tom Savini. I think it's his first directorial effort. It's um it's a remake that was uh George Romero asked him to make this remake. So it's not like, you know, someone just randomly making an unfaithful remake.
Hmm.
Um, and Tom Savini is like very well known for his practical effects, especially in this genre. So cool to see him coming into the directorial light for this movie. It's 1990, and the remake is a little bit different than the original in terms of some of the characters, and not all the changes I think everyone will love. But I think out of the sheer fact that it's like a Tom Savini made zombie movie, I feel like I'm surprised that not more people have seen it, especially because it carries the weight of George Romero's classic. So,
Yeah, I will say I've not seen it, so there you go. I'm part of the problem. But but yeah, it's always been on my list, and I just have never gotten around to it. I think it also hasn't been like on a lot of streaming services that I have, so I just
yeah,
haven't seen it yet. Uh, but yeah,
I think it's
what's your other?
currently
Oh,
on Shutter, but I don't
gotcha.
know where else you might see it. So yeah, that is kind of a bummer about it. But yeah, my last recommendation is kind of a goofy one, but I'm gonna throw it in there anyways because I can do whatever I want. It's it's an 88-minute movie directed by Misty Talley, who obviously is a very famous director, probably for this movie. I'm sure everyone knows the name. Santa Jaws. listen,
Never seen this one.
listen. It's it's we're on the brink of Christmas, right? If
Yeah.
this episode hits and it's already pretty much Halloween, so maybe you're like, hey, I gotta put away the horror stuff for a little while. I gotta watch, Rudolph and all this stuff, whatever. But listen, you're gonna spend 88 minutes and you're gonna watch a a shark that's obsessed with Christmas do its
I
thing.
mean, I mean, it's called Santa Jaws. Go on Letterboxd, look at
It's
the poster, and that's what it is. It's a shark
it's
wearing a Santa Claus hat, and I think you get the idea.
it's only got 6.4 thousand people that have seen it. It's streaming right now for free on Pluto TV. This might be one of those rare movies where watching it with ads might be the preferred way to watch it. But it's also just a ton of fun. It's like, I think you probably get the vibe. It's called Santa Jaws. Like, this is not on the same quality as my other recommendations. It's also a very shitty and fun movie to watch. So I
Nice.
recommend it.
Nice. Santa Jaws. Was not familiar with it. Honestly, 6.4 thousand, more than I would have suspected for Santa Jaws. But yeah, that is cool. I'll give a couple other honorable mentions.
Hell yeah.
Uh, One is A Page of Madness, which is a silent film from Japan. Uh, it takes place at like a mental asylum, and it it is pretty cool. A lot of really inventive stuff for the era, and very influential horror movie that is worth checking out. And I feel like kind of goes under the radar because I feel like Japan didn't have a big like horror. Maybe I'm just ignorant of it, but I don't think there's a big like horror, silent horror, like scene in Japan in the 20s, basically. But yeah, this is a very cool movie. The Eyes of My Mother is directed by Nicholas Pesci, I believe is how you say his name, and super stylish, black and white movie, uh, pretty like depraved and gory and stuff, but it's in black and white, so it sort of maybe tempers the not really. It's pretty fucked up, but it's cool, super stylish, and I really liked it. I haven't seen it in a long time though, so I didn't want to have it in the top five. And then I will say, just last week we did our what to watch on Halloween, and The Greasy Strangler was my pick for comedy. And I will say, Greasy Strangler only 31,000 views on Letterboxd. Not enough. It's not enough, people. Get out there and, you know, uh, strangle your grease because it's time to it's time to see The Greasy Strangler.
Are we allowed to say that on air?
Strangle your
I
grease,
don't.
brother. All
Uh,
right. The other
that
one,
MPAA is gonna.
yeah, this podcast just got rated NC-17. Uh, and also The Hole in the Ground, directed by Lee Cronin. This was on my top five like underrated
Mm,
movies that we did, a few months back. It only has a 2.7 average rating on Letterboxd and 47,000 views. But I really like that movie. I think it's a really cool, it's maybe sort of a somewhat played out subgenre of like the elevated horror type of a thing. But I thought it was a really, really well executed version of that. And I think now that we've seen Lee Cronin do Evil Dead Rise, and he's got his remake of The Mummy coming out, I believe next year. Uh, Maybe people will look back on The Hole in the Ground and give it a fair shake now that we've seen Lee Cronin do some other stuff. But so those were honorable mentions because I've already mentioned them in other episodes.
nice. Um, speaking of, some pretty good episodes to go back to. We've got our episode 13.5 was top five underrated movies list. And we also had a more recently we did a
What to watch on Halloween?
what to watch on Halloween. That was only a couple weeks ago. And there was also episode 22.5 was our underseen non-English language movies. So we've got a few things out there. And I might be missing something, you guys know, but if people have missed any of those, just other good ways to find some stuff kind of maybe under the radar that we would
Yeah.
recommend.
Go to our underrated ones for the hot takes. Those are the
Yeah.
movies that people don't like that we wanted to defend. So yeah.
Also watch Santa Jaws.
Yeah, Santa. If you took anything away from this episode, Santa Jaws, gotta watch it. That'll be what I'll watch that on Christmas this year.
Yes.
It's the
And
no,
Frogman. We got to watch Frogman too.
oh boy, all right. I got a lot of yeah. Sounds good.
When we might end up having, a Frogman episode at some point where we just sit down, we watch
I'm
Frogman
surprised you
together.
haven't picked it yet. We're what 30 episodes in and we haven't done
Yeah.
Frogman yet. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Anthony Cousins, if you're out there, contact us. We would love to have you on for an episode.
That would be cool. That would be awesome. Yeah, all right. Maybe for Frogman Returns.
Yeah. Oh my
That'd be pretty
God.
sick.
Yes.
We could get a little interview or something. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be sick.
Yeah. All right. I guess that's that for this episode. Uh Next week, keep an eye out. Subscribe to us on YouTube or on the podcast apps because next week we are talking about Gaspar Noé. So we're watching Climax and Enter the Void, which are two completely off the wall, batshit insane movies. Ryan has not seen either of them at this moment in time. So just a week from now, you will see he'll be a new man in a week. His mind will be expanded. He'll have seen things he can never unsee. But yeah, so check that out. We got some cool stuff coming up. We got Nicolas Cage November coming up. Uh, some other cool stuff. So follow us on Letterboxd. Mind your movies, all one word. You can also find both of our individual letterboxds from there. Yeah, and
Yeah.
anything you want to say
Speaking
about
of, I was just gonna say that do you have a Hooptober list on Letterboxd this year, Shane? I forget.
I do have a Hooptober list. However, every year I make a Hooptober list and I never finish it.
Yeah.
So but you can look at my Hooptober list it's on my account somewhere. It's I have a zillion lists on my account, but if you just go to the recently updated ones, it'll be there.
Yeah. And same here. Not that I'm gonna finish my Hooptober either, but some cool stuff on those lists, I'm sure. So
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right, cool. Well, with that being said, don't forget to mind your movies.